What's up, world, and welcome back to another episode of Mix in Chat. I'm your boy Javi, here with my boy D-Lo.
Yo, what's up?
Now let's get into it. Alright, so first of all, I have just got to say it. These whole memes and these whole retweets and reposts of Justin Timberlake's mugshot is ridiculous to me. Like, yeah, back in the day when he was younger, he did the whole campaign on drinking and driving, and now he's been arrested for drinking and driving in New York, and his mugshot is not very flattering. You can clearly tell in his eyes that the man was wasted.
Well, typically mugshots isn't really flattering.
I don't know, because there's some people that are beat and have like gorgeous mugshots. They smiling at the camera like, yes, bitch, I did it. But his looks like he's a drunk white man.
Well, that's where they caught him at.
He don't look like a celebrity.
That's when they caught him when he was drunk. It's the DUI.
Yeah. So I mean, and everybody's like, look in his eyes. Like, clearly you see that his eyes are a little red, and he's very hazed and out of it. He's drunk.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? I don't get what the justification of the repost and the retweets and everybody having this big old conversation about Justin Timberlake being drunk.
Well, I mean, it goes to with the whole celebrities.
Your mama had a DUI 20 years ago, but we ain't reposting that shit.
Well, it's just celebrities they're put to a higher standard.
Why?
And they're supposed to be beyond perfect for some reason, even though
we should all know this by now, that no celebrity is above or perfect or above the law or anything like that. Look at P. Diddy, look at Donald Trump, look at Joe Biden, look at all these people.
Those two are the extreme circumstances of
look at Justin Bieber, look at Chris Brown, look at any celebrity that's ever had a DUI. Hell, Hillary Duff had a DUI. They showboated and paraded her mugshot. Fucking Hillary Clinton's got a mugshot, I'm sure. Like, it's not like these people are human.
But that's the thing, though. But I mean, for what Justin Timberlake did, it was very calm and a very calm offense. All the other ones, when they do stuff, it's like the extreme.
Not necessarily, though, but like. And my whole thing is, why are you holding a celebrity to a different standard than you're holding any normal human, in general? Because humans make mistakes. Humans eventually have to do a mugshot.
Well, it's because people, and trust me, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. It's just the way
how they're idolized.
Idolized. They're put on a pedestal because people look up to them. They're supposed to be the standard of the way you're supposed to be.
Yeah, we look up to you. How could you do this to us? Oh my God, you're such a disappointment to your family and your fans. Girl, I have several seats in the nosebleed. I got drunk and I needed some cigarettes. I wasn't gonna just sit down.
And then he said he was following his friend home, and
was his friend drunk too? Hell, how you gonna follow his friend home and he's drunk? His friend must have been looking in the rear view the whole time. I'm making sure you get home safe too.
Right. But it's just one of those things. So I see it in a different way. Like, you're Justin Timberlake. You have drivers. You could have been like, man, I'll get you a driver home, and then I'll get you a driver to take you back to your car tomorrow.
You know how much a driver costs? They just don't come for free. Like, you gotta pay them by the hour. So if you just going around the corner, honey, I'm not getting you no driver, baby. You drive, and I'm gonna follow you. When you get to your house, I'm gonna spin my ass around. And
there is a such thing called an Uber. I'll get you an Uber.
Facts. And a Lyft. Hell, DoorDash might even start doing drives.
So, I mean, he don't really have to have a driver. I mean, he probably does have drivers on call, though. It's just that's just the way. I'm sure it's Justin Timberlake. So that's just the way his light is. Just what they do.
He let his light dim a little bit that day.
Yeah. So, and I mean, didn't he have a campaign earlier about the whole drinking and driving thing?
He was a baby. He was like in his early 20s.
Yeah, but those things have a way of come back to haunt you.
That's the whole reason
and
that
that
they
that's
showboated this man's mugshot all over the
right.
social media.
It's kind of like which I don't really want to give too much on the topic because it's really a sore subject. But like my mom, her mom's passed when she was 16 because of a drunk driver.
Oh wow!
And the guy who did it actually was a committee against drunk drivers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
those be the worst ones.
Yeah, so it's
you preach homosexuality, preach against homosexuality, and then you hunching on a man. Right. What's his name? Bishop T.D. Jakes with the whole P. Diddy case. That's that's the kind of nostalgia you're talking about. Though, like you preach against drunk driving, but then you get into a drunk driver accident and kill somebody.
Yeah. So
like, let's be serious.
And that's another reason too. Like there's so many people that die of drinking and driving that it's kind of like, man, like come on now, like yeah, you just took it as you was just following your friend down the street, but something could have happened.
Yeah, a black cat could have ran in front of your car and caused you to have an accident.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. It just it's a sore subject for some people, and it's just you gotta think smarter about situations.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first seen the mugshot and I seen Justin Timberlake's name beside it, 2 and 2 didn't get put together because I was still looking at the picture like, is that a white woman? And she just looked like him. But no, it was him. But speaking of white women, how are you? Oh, wow. Now I'm just playing. But what's up, D-Lo? How has your week been? What's your number?
Oh man. Well, I'm pretty much heat exhausted this week because it's been hot.
Hotter than the devil's toenail.
Yeah, and
we walking in Haiti.
I got to get my AC service in my car, so doing DoorDash and Amazon Flex just kind of.
And that's hot. It's hot wind coming.
And there's moments where it does work right, but it's like when I'm sitting for a little bit, sometimes it will kick on to where it's like it blows nothing but humid air. So it's like I'm just like yesterday when I was wearing like a gray shirt underneath my Amazon vest, and I took the Amazon.
Oh
vest.
You haven't told them that you were doing flex.
Oh yeah, so I'm currently switched it up to where I'm doing Amazon Flex to end my day.
To end your day.
To end my day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I'm picking up the 3.5 hour routes instead of just going balls to the wall for the 4 hour routes. I ended I try to get one where it's like 3 to 7 or 3:30 to 7 or 3 to 7:30 or 3:30 to 7.
Okay.
And I mean, me and you both did the whole Amazon delivery thing, so like a 3.5 hour route is just
20 minutes. Now you're playing, right. But a little bit. I'm not playing.
Like yesterday, I had 45 stops. I got done in 2.5 hours.
So have you been doing them every day?
Just when they pop up.
Okay.
So
well, let's get back to what your number is.
Yeah. So man, I'm gonna say about 6.5 today.
Oh my God, it's going down, D-Lo. It's not supposed to go
I'm exhausted.
down.
I'm exhausted.
I hear you.
The show must go on anyway.
It must.
Yeah, it must go on. So.
It has to.
What's your number today, man?
I would say I am sitting at a 9. And I'm at a 9 for a certain reason. I had a family member pass away.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
But thank you. But I was really nervous about going over to my family's house because I don't take death the way that other people do. Like I don't boohoo, cry, sob, like get into like deep feelings, and like I see death as like a passage. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like the person is completely gone. Like yeah, they're physically gone, but I don't feel like it should be something that is like, boo-hoo, I'm never gonna see you again, because like I don't feel like that's true. I feel like when your light leaves this body, that your light is still floating. So when my light leaves my body, my light floats. So we will come in entanglement again at some point. like whether it's through the light, or like when I say light, I mean soul,
Yeah.
or however people see it. But I just feel like everyone in this universe, everyone in this life is entangled in some way or form. You might not know everybody, you might not ever meet everybody, but when your light is dimmed out of this body, your light still shines. So, and I just see death as like a passage. I don't see it as something like, yeah, I might shed a tear because, like, yeah, it's an emotional thing to go through. Somebody that you were close to dies. But as far as the boohoo and crying and the emotions, I'm not big on like bawling my eyes out because somebody passed away. So I walked into the space and I'm just like, they're boohooing crying. So like I'm like, I understand. Like I used to be like that, but like after seeing so much death and after like really channeling who I am, that's just not how I perceive death, and that's not how I like react to people dying. Like it's more of like a celebration. Like and they even said it the other day, like she does not want us to cry. She does not want us to be sad. She wants us to celebrate and be happy that she touched those many lives in her living.
Yeah.
And then this passing is a celebration because she's now at peace. She's now not in pain or struggling or anything like that. So like I take that to heart. That's the way that I perceive death
Yeah.
in general.
Well,
So
and I get that, but
that's why I'm at
like
a 9.
I get that, and like there's like I guess I'm kind of the same way, except for the past two deaths I had to deal with. Um, One was my cousin, and then another one. It was kind of almost close to last Christmas. It was a dear friend of mine. He
Like
was
different
actually
deaths
he was
hit different.
he was almost like a mentor, but like at that time, like that was so sudden. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like a couple days before that, I was talking to my friend, and he said everything was fine. And then the day that I got the news about him, I was sitting there in my car, and I was like, I'm gonna give him a call. And then next thing you know, I get a message saying that he passed that the day before.
Man.
And
Like
then my
don't get me
cousin,
wrong, like they different deaths hit different. Like when my mom passes, God forbid it's anytime soon, but it's gonna hit me hard. Like I
yeah,
know I'm gonna cry because like she's the woman that gave birth to me. She's the woman that raised me. That's the person I've known my whole life. That's the closest person to me in my life.
yeah,
So I know that's gonna hit different. You might see me boohoo crying at that point because like I'm not physically able to talk to her and hear her anymore.
yeah.
But I know that it's like it's not gonna be like long lived. Like I'm gonna be crying forever. Like I know that it'll be
Yeah,
short
no,
lived.
like like, and like my cousin, you know, I just like there's been recent deaths I had to deal with that I wish I had more time with the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather was that way. Um, my dad, my cousin. Um, well, my dad was kind of more. I wish I could have done more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was help take care of him. You know, and but my cousin, I wish I had more time. And
You felt guilty that you didn't actually take the initiative to like invest in that more time before he died. Not really
well,
guilty, but like kind of like upset and kind of beat yourself up for it.
yeah, and it's kind of the one of the things I had understanding now. Like, we did reach out and call each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like he had his own family. He just had a daughter, um, newly born. Um, I was dealing with some, with wedding and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and
Life.
just yeah. So it's just one of those things. It was just like. But in hindsight, it's kind of one of those things. It was like, well, I wish I had more time, and I know our paths is going to cross again at some
Yeah.
point. So it still hits a little different, knowing that I'm not going to get that because he used to do like morning Snapchats.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like knowing that I'm not going to get that to get my laugh of the morning.
So what you
kind
do
of
is become that person. That's how you remember him.
yeah.
You do the
So
morning Snapchats now.
well, and then that's why I'm glad we're doing. That's why we're glad we're doing this for
Yeah.
where we get our voices out. We
Yeah.
hopefully make a few people laugh.
Yeah.
So it's kind
So
of
we're not gonna make them laugh stand in the soppy. So let's bring it up. I don't want your
right,
six
right.
and a half to go down to a
And
3.
nah, we ain't doing that.
So
We ain't
let's
doing
break it up.
that.
But all in all, I'm at a 9. And but that's the reason that I'm at not at a 10. Like other than that, it's been great. Like work has been a struggle at times, but it's work. It's how it is. But yeah. Today our main topic is going to be DoorDash, the ins and outs, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the all around, how it was before this new update and how it is now that it's in the tier system, and what you can do to avoid certain things, what you can do to achieve certain goals, and just the full works. But first, in just a second, when we come back, we're going to let D-Lo give us the update on the NBA.
Yep.
All right, so stay tuned and we'll see you in a second.
All right, welcome back, y'all. So before we jump into the whole NBA thing, I feel like every time we have a new episode that I'm always kind of giving a little memorial thing. And since we just got done talking about the death situation, um, another legend in the sports world passed away.
Oh, God.
Willie Mays
Oh.
passed away Tuesday at
Oh, no, I
93.
know Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Wow.
So his family said that he passed away peacefully and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
okay.
just give a shout out to Willie Mays' family and
Yes, rest in peace. Rest in paradise.
he was a really big baseball figure, not just baseball figure, but sports figure in general, as for what he did for black people and just the game of baseball itself. So yeah. But other than that, on to the news of the NBA. So
yes, how did this turn out?
Well, it turned out exactly the way I thought it was going to turn out.
The one you was rooting for, while you said, "Well, I didn't have a dog in that fight."
Well, no, I really didn't. I did. Okay. It just at first, like in previous years, I wasn't really a fan of the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
But
one person particularly made you a fan.
Pretty much, but I like the way that the direction that the team went into as far as their style of play.
Okay. I got you.
Their defense got a little bit more. They started doing a little bit more passing the ball, and they started actually playing like a team. So they won in 5 games, which was a gentleman's sweep.
Hold on, wait, they won 5?
Well, they won in 5 games.
Oh, okay.
So it was a gentleman's sweep. 4-1.
Got you.
Which actually, when me and Cha Cha first was talking about it, he said they was gonna win in 6, and I was like, and in my head, I was like, I told him, I was like, well, I thought they was gonna win in 5. But I'll go with you on 6.
And for those of y'all that don't remember who Cha Cha is, he was on the season finale of the Mike podcast when it was still the Mike podcast Mix and Chat. He was on the season finale of that, and he's also the co-host with D-Lo to What It Is podcast, which we are still working on getting those podcasts, his podcast and the Fuck I Had Said, up and running and recording and on this season. So you all will get glimpses of it this season. Just bear with us. But back to what you're saying.
Which this time is bittersweet because it's kind of like, yay, we get to see who, finally what happens, but then it's like basketball season's over.
Oh man.
But Boston Celtics won their 18th championship.
How did those numbers play out? As far as how many games did they win when it came like the best of 7?
So that they won. It was 5 games. It ended up being a 5-game series. Boston Celtics won 4, and the Dallas Mavericks won 1.
Oh, so that day that we had the last podcast, They had won two.
Yeah,
So they had won another one, and then they lost one, and then they
they
won
won.
another
Yeah,
one.
and they went. They ended up winning on their home court in game number 5.
Wow.
Jaylen Brown took away Finals MVP,
Okay. Okay, Mr.
which
Brown.
it was an argument could be both for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Either one of them could have won it. It
Right.
just I think Jaylen Brown did a little more on the defensive end. Jason Tatum had those 2 games where he didn't really wasn't in production that much. It took him a little bit more into other games to get going. So there's a little controversy there on who should have actually won it. But either way,
we know who won it, so the controversy should be dead at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
not to play off of anybody that passed away. Said it should be dead at this point, but it should be over.
Yeah, which I mean, like I said, there's a strong argument on both, but they both take away. I mean, even Jaylen Brown was like, even though I'm the one who holds it, it's both bars. Right. So I mean, there's that respect between both of them. There's no animosity between them, so people shouldn't have the animosity on who should have won it.
Right.
Like I said, it's the Boston Celtics 18th win, so they're the first one to 18 championships.
Wow.
Which Laker fans are hating.
Well, not everybody's gonna like the outcome, but they did it.
They did it.
So quit hating.
Joe Mazzulla became the youngest head coach to win a championship at the age of 35.
Oh, see, so they can be head coaches at 35, but they can't be presidents at 35. Let's look. I know that's right. You do your thing, Mr.
Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, him.
Which I mean, he's a person that went from the bench to the head coach spot.
Okay, kind of like Pope.
Yeah. So,
period.
But me personally, I think the MVP should have gone to Brad Stevens, which would have been a first for. But GMs are not allowed to win MVP because the moves that he made was able for them to be able to win the championship that they got. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of firing coaches, I mean, there was probably one head coach that he fired before he brought in Mazzulla, and then he stuck with Mazzulla. Because he could have fired him last year after they lost the conference final. To the Miami Heat. But no, he stuck with them. Unlike the Pistons today, on Wednesday, end up firing Monty Williams after one season. The Lakers end up firing what's his name? Darvin Ham after one season. They don't get coaches don't get. The one coach for the Bucks got fired in mid-season.
Oh wow!
They just don't get time to actually develop.
Give him a chance.
Yeah. So it just all, and then the trades that he's made for the players that he's got. It was their time.
So he was the most valuable coach, not the most valuable player. So he needs his own different style of award.
Well,
do they have awards
no, it was
for
a GM.
Coaches?
No, it was a GM.
Well, the most valuable GM. Do they have awards for those type of things?
They do. It's kind of like at the end of the season.
Yeah.
They have like GM of the year. And
so maybe he'll get that
stuff like that. But those usually get handed out before or like during the playoffs, so they don't really get to see.
They don't count the playoffs.
Yeah, but.
Well, this is a great start to next year's award.
So now that the basketball season's over with, don't worry, y'all. We still gonna get some news this summer because it's gonna be the summer of Paul George. And when I say the summer of, it's because every summer, every offseason, there's a big player, a big name player that's gonna be going into free agency.
Okay.
So wherever these players go to could be
the next big team.
So he could stay with the Clippers. He could go to the 76ers, but it just...
We'll see.
We'll see. And then we still got the new team with the the Wildcat, the Kentucky Wildcats, and Mark Pope. So
Yeah,
that's I've been doing my research on that team, and it's going to be a really exciting team.
sounds juicy.
And then we
Well,
got the Olympics coming up, so
yes. Oh yes, I can't wait for the Olympics. Olympics is everything.
yeah. So,
But
but yeah, it was good though. It was good playoffs.
well,
Kind of kind of boring, but
that was
it was good.
exciting.
It was good. It was good.
Exciting news. I kind of figured that your team would win because you were talking very highly of them. Like I didn't watch it. I didn't really like I don't keep up with it. I just listen to what you say. I hear your updates, so I live vicariously through my straight life through you. And I enjoy every second of it. But when we come back in just a minute, we're going to get into our main topic, which is the ins and outs, the all arounds, and the all abouts of DoorDash.
Yep.
Stay tuned. So, welcome back, you guys, and we're just going to dive right in and dissect DoorDash. Your boy Javi, started DoorDashing back in July of 2023, and this was before they switched over to the tier systems.
Mm.
When did you start?
So I can't remember the month because it's been so long. You know, you was a young whippersnapper when I did.
I was in elementary school when he started.
No, I started door dashing in 2018.
Oh dang! I was
So-
really in elementary school,
So
and that was way before the tier system.
yeah.
Did you know about the tier system in other states when you started door dashing, or when did you find out about them?
I actually didn't. They didn't start doing the tier system until last year.
Okay.
So the tier system wasn't even a thought of when I was door dashing. Like Top Dasher wasn't even thought of when I was dashing.
Oh, so
When I
that was kind of
started.
relevantly new.
Yeah, when I started dashing, it was new. Not many people has started yet, so like getting on the map wasn't that hard.
Gotcha.
You know, you could dash at any time, literally.
Right.
You know,
So my thing is, and when we talk about door dashing and what it's like to be a door dasher, we're talking specifically about in Kentucky, Fayette County area. Um, I have DoorDash in Illinois for like 30 minutes because they gave me one delivery that was like all the way on the other side of the fucking state for $7. So I stopped immediately and didn't do it. No, I did the delivery, but I just didn't do anything after that. I just drove my ass back to Kentucky. Um, and I know you've went up to did you DoorDash in Chicago or did you just Uber in Chicago?
no.
Uber to Chicago.
I Ubered and Lyft in other places. I haven't done DoorDash in other places.
Okay. But my experience with me door dashing before the tier system, and I know you can kind of agree, like it had its ups and downs, but we made good money. Like the money was like you had to work for it, yeah, but like on a good day I could end my DoorDash with $176, and that's starting at 9 and ending it at 6 or 7. Um, and even having an hour, 2 hour lunch in between. So
Yeah.
it was good money. As far as the app messing up, like that would happen, but it would be so few and far in between. You had more glitches than I did.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of if it was after the tier system, but it was just seemed like after the tier system, they just started messing with stuff that they shouldn't.
Oh
be,
yeah,
and putting new features in. It doesn't really even matter. Like
yeah,
little pictures that will show you sample pictures of
yeah.
where to leave it. Like
Or take a picture of the receipt. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean,
I've
even,
already scanned that to my Fetch app. Quit playing with me.
like even
Threw it away.
like even the little sample pictures they have of where to leave it, it's like it's not really a good picture, you know, like because like when I take a picture of it at the doorstep, I like try to get the address in the whole door,
because then it's easy for somebody to say, oh, they delivered it to the wrong house.
Yeah,
No, because I would drive right back to your location and take a full picture of your house and send it through email to DoorDash.
Yeah,
Do not play with me.
So,
but yeah, before the tier system, I feel like DoorDash just was ran better. Yeah, there was ups and downs. The app would freeze at times. We'd have to call or reset the app, and even when we called, they would tell us to reset the app. We would say we've already done that because we knew that it was gonna have to do that. We'll delete it from your phone and re-add it the app back to your phone. Yeah, we've done that too. So I need y'all to do something. Um, but like those were few and far in between. I feel like the app ran and it worked, and we worked a lot better before the tier system.
Well, you had less to worry about,
Yeah,
because now and
and them tips
now,
was higher.
yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out what is different about that, because like
Have you not experienced the big like catering orders?
not since the last time I told you about the one I had, and
Yeah.
which
Cause
was
you
like,
remember, I remember you telling me that there was somebody that told you that they were getting really big orders, like really high tipped orders
yeah,
in the '90s and stuff.
yeah, and I still like those are far in between for me. Like I don't,
And you are one. Me, I quit door dashing full time about a month and a half ago.
yeah, something like that.
Um, and but D'Lo still door dashes full time. So my thing is, they see that you're an avid door dasher. You're on that app sun up to sundown.
Hmm.
So why isn't that they give you the crap orders, or they don't give you the highest paying tips because you're the person that's out there all day? People just get on the app, get a couple of dollars, and get off the app.
Yeah.
You are on that app all day. Even
Well,
during your lunch, you would pause the app, unpause it, and repause it if you need to take a longer break. Like me, when I was on the app, I would go to lunch and end my dash, and then I wouldn't restart. You would pause it,
yeah,
so to let them know that no, I'm still here. I'm just on break.
yeah,
So that was what threw me off.
yeah. Even now, I've dabbled into going back to doing flex routes at the end. So
Because
because
they're not giving you enough.
well, that and it's just supplemental of what I lost.
Yeah.
Because like before the tier system, like you said, you was making 170 to 200 bucks a day,
Yeah.
and now like I've kind of gotten back to where I'm getting $100 on the first half of the day,
Hmm.
but I mean, still, even that's hard in between. So I've gone to do the flex routes to where it supplements to where I it make that extra $70 for that day or $75 for that day, you know, and but that's just the way it is, and like, and let me put this out there for people that don't know. So a lot of people, especially within the DoorDash community, feel like they are entitled to this whole independent contractor facade.
Okay.
Um, that is not the case. We are labeled independent contractor because it takes all the responsibility off the DoorDash as far as paying taxes on the drivers. Any responsibility that goes within the company gets put on us
Mm.
because we're independent contractors, labeled as independent contractors. Being an independent contractor is you get to choose when you work, you get to negotiate your pay.
We don't get to negotiate it.
We don't negotiate no pay.
We don't have a union fighting for us.
We know. As far as get to work when you want, if you don't have Platinum Dasher or Top Dasher, what it used to be, and you have the Dash anytime, you rely on a schedule.
Yeah.
Where's the freedom of that? As far as people are concerned, as one to be considered, because that's basically
because you can, once you've gotten in, you can end it whenever you want to.
yeah. But when you end it, you can't start it back up.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like people feel like people are like, well, if they take the independent contractor label away from us, then that's going to take our freedom away. Well, if
You never had freedom to start with.
you don't have the freedom. Either you playing the AR games, as people like to quote it, and get to the part to where you're a Platinum Dasher, or you're relying on a schedule.
Yep.
So I mean, you gotta take the good with the bad, or
And
the
it
bad
really,
with the good.
and it sucks because you get into those door dashing community chats on like Facebook or wherever you get your community support from. And like me, when I got into that app, when I got into that chat group or support group or whatever, and I posted that little funny about having to go pick up condoms and stuff and get into the house, and the music was blasting like they already started, and then that guy commented like, "Oh, that was my house. I'm reporting you to DoorDash," when it wasn't even his house.
Yeah.
Like he lived in a whole nother city, but he made me so uncomfortable and made me so, like, honestly fearful that he was gonna try to report me, even though he wasn't the person that I was making the funny about. I never posted anybody's name, any pictures or anything. It was in it, the screenshot was just of what I had to purchase. No house numbers, no names, no anything. And I felt like this person might try to get me banned from making money, and this was my only source of income at the time. And so I just left the group. Like, bullshit. Like, that's
And that's why I told you, like, he could have tried,
yeah, he
but
wanted me to
DoorDash,
whoop his
wasn't
ass.
built. DoorDash wouldn't have cared.
He
They'd have been
wanted me to
like,
whoop his ass because then I researched him and found out where he lived and who he was, and we had a mutual friend, and I was definitely gonna call that friend if he would have got me fired, and I was gonna go up to his house.
"Oh,
And let
did
him
y'all
know
actually have
something.
a mutual friend?"
Oh yeah, he lives in Nicholasville,
Yeah.
and my best friend from ninth grade lives in Nicholasville, but they grew up right around the corner from each other.
Nah, but I did tell you though. Um, I call him out on anything, and I've been doing just that.
Good.
I had him so frustrated. He was even trying to call me out to be like, I'll put your face in the mud or some childish things like that. Like,
bro,
like,
have several seats in the nosebleed section because you don't want these
because I
problems.
told him if he believed all that, I had a bridge to sell him at Maysville.
Facts. But yeah, DoorDash is just, I think now, seeing how it's kind of like dampened your like earnings and stuff like that, it's just going downhill.
It is, and
I wonder if people are switching over to like Uber Eats now.
well, I mean, which honestly, the funny thing about that is, I think Uber Eats got bought out from on Instacart, because when I go
Oh.
into the Instacart app on to, like, order stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you can order from restaurants, and it says order from Uber Eats.
Oh. Ooh.
So
That's tea.
um
That's juice. We love to hear good tea and juice.
and so I heard something about Instacart was looking to buy Uber Eats, which I don't know if they,
So did they buy Uber?
that I don't know, because I mean, there's nothing on that says anything about rides.
We
It just
gotta do
says
some research.
restaurants.
We gotta do some research on this. We gotta figure some things out.
So, but people have. I mean, there's one guy, he does it all. He does Uber, Lyft, he does DoorDash, he does Uber Eats. You know, I try to keep it simple, and see, there for a while I was multi-apping. You know, I was.
Look, he said multi-apping, not multitasking.
I was doing DoorDash. I would stop my DoorDash and do an Instacart if an order came up good. Then I would go back on the DoorDash, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it simple. I ran a full day of DoorDash, and it was good. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do DoorDash. And but now I'm back to doing DoorDash in the mornings, and then trying to finish my day out with a Flex route if it's available. Like today, one wasn't available.
Real quick. That's
Yeah.
$75 real quick.
Yeah, like, but today it wasn't available. So,
somebody snagged it before you could get in there.
No, like, I've been swiping all day, because that's the thing about
Juneteenth. It's a holiday.
Yeah, and then that's the thing though, because that's why I thought Flex route would be available, because the way Flex routes are is it's not like it used to be either. Like, used to be, you could get on there and find Flex routes, all day long. Now it's just whenever a DSP drops routes, or they get more of a surplus, that then the DSP have people, so then they put it on Flex routes to put things that they need out.
Speaking of Juneteenth, happy Juneteenth
Yeah,
or belated Juneteenth because y'all will be listening to this the day after we record it and re-record it on Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth, y'all.
yeah. Happy Juneteenth.
I hope y'all all got to take the day off
Um,
like I did.
so
You did not,
I did not.
but you are white, so get to work. I just
But yeah, anymore, this whole gig work, as they like to put it, is more of a rat race. You're just a rat on the wheel, and
How
you're
would
just
you?
consistently running.
Would you now consider DoorDash to other people to
No.
do it? No,
Now, if they're looking for some extra income,
like quick cash.
yeah, and it's not really quick because you still have to put in the work to get. You know, I mean, there's times, yeah, you can go out there for 2 hours and make $50.
But well, you have that one person that's like sitting at a 15%, but still getting big tips.
Yeah.
So like it could be quick cash.
So yeah, I mean, it can be, but like I've said, there's been times where I was out there for 7 hours, only made $100.
Yeah,
you
or
know,
less.
or less. So it, and then I would have to emphasize that you have to keep up with Platinum Dasher if you want to do it.
And you have to keep up with the maintenance on your car because it will run you ragged. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
So
It will wear and tear the out of your car.
now, maybe I will suggest doing other apps to try. As far as like Amazon Flex on the weekends.
By the way, none of these apps are paying us, so we should have used a different name. We should have named these apps a different name.
Nah,
'cause we not
screw
getting
that.
paid.
Nah, we ain't getting paid for it, but they need to be called out.
Call they mother. Nah.
They need to be called out because, like I said, like even with this tier system, I don't think DoorDash updated their algorithm to match that tier system.
Facts. Now that you say that, because the algorithm is still the same as it was before, but now that the tier system is different, it's like it's throwing everybody all over the place.
Yeah, like there are certain people that that I've noticed. Like there was this one guy. Like I was picking up an order for $10. I had a 76 acceptance rating. This guy come in with a 72 acceptance rating, picking up a $25 order going right down the street.
But my thing is with that, was it just because you picked up that $10 order and that $25 order came in right behind it, so he got it?
You don't know.
That's the thing that but when I was door dashing and me and you were door dashing and hanging out in the Myers parking lot, I would have a higher rating than you did. But we were both sitting there waiting on the order, but you got a higher tip than I did on the order you got. So and I would be sitting there waiting the same time you did, but you would get your order first, and it'd be like a $25 tip, and then an order would come in.
And then all of a sudden it would switch. It would be vice versa.
Sometimes, not all the time. Most of the time, you were getting higher tips than me, but I also believe that that's because you started earlier than me.
Yeah.
If they got you already in a groove and you've already been receiving orders, they're going to keep on making those orders flow to you as long as you're out there. And then I come in and I'm sitting there waiting on the order the same time you are. You're going to get that constant flow because you're already out there.
It all depends because there's been sometimes like I'd be in a good groove and then all of a sudden I get a string of like
crappy orders. That's because I clocked in.
So
thank you so much.
But and then there was some times where I was only making $60 and you'd be already at 100.
Period.
You
That's
know what I'm
because
saying?
I clocked in.
And
I'm quick with it though. You can't knock it. When I get an order, I'm in and out.
I am too.
I mean, but I'm smaller than you, and my legs move a little bit faster than you from all this dance and soccer and stuff. So
no, I could take more steps in my stride than you can with your short legs.
Because my short legs hit 5 more steps than you do in your 2 strides.
I don't know about that.
Hmm. I did my
I cover.
research.
I can cover more distance with my long
I did my
stride.
research on leg aesthetics. But yeah, there's different dynamics to DoorDash, and it also depends on where you are when you're DoorDashing. Just like when we did it, we were over in the Hamburg area, and that's here in Kentucky, in
And
Lexington.
it has gotten crowded over there.
And then like you had Richmond Road, which is right down the street. Then you had Nicholasville Road, which is not that far away from Richmond Road. And then you have like the whole South Side. But it was just like you said, it was getting more and more saturated over where we were. And I also think that had to play a huge part with like the tips.
Yeah, and and like I said, like I don't know, like it used to be like you had your strategy, but now like even having like even the strategies like don't really pan out because you don't know what is going to happen.
Do
You know
you
what I'm
think that's
saying?
because of the
Yeah,
tier system?
I do,
Hmm.
because I never really had a problem with it until the tier system. Because I could be like, all right, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna sit over here by Myers for a bit, and if that don't give me something in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna scoot over there to where Target and PetSmart is. If that don't work, I'm gonna scoot over there to
Mm-hmm.
Chipotle.
Yep.
You know, and no matter what, you was gonna end up getting a good order somewhere. But I do that now. Like I'll sit at Myers for 10 minutes, not get nothing. I'll go over there to Chipotle, sit over there for 10 minutes, and get something crappy. Like, like you really don't have a strategy
Dang.
now. You just got to go out there and see what happens. And then you
Yeah.
get other people in these groups that are like, "Well, how is it out there?" And I always hated that question because that was one thing with like Uber and Lyft.
Don't jinx me
When
by
they
asking that
well,
question.
no, not it's not even that, but it's like I was in an Uber and Lyft group, and people would ask all the time, "Well, how is it out there?" Well, that's a loaded question because it's my busy may not be busy for you.
Yeah, and if I'm busy, I don't want you to come out here because then you're gonna make me less busy. So it's
But
crappy. Do not do it. Go to the other side. Let me
well,
know how it is over there.
and honestly, I've never really been like that. Like,
I have.
because like I've always been type like I'm gonna get my money regardless.
And
Like
at this point, it's not happening.
yeah, but
So
now
stay
it
away.
literally is not happening now.
I'm sure if I was to say, hey, should I come back out there and start doing that with you again? You say no. Because I need to make my money. Like it's so saturated over there. Adding more people would just deplenish what I'm already making.
And so, but yeah, I don't know.
So to wrap up the whole DoorDash experience right now, tell me what you would like to see DoorDash do in the future to make this whole situation better. Should they go back to the old system? Should they update it? What do you think?
Well, if they're gonna keep this system, they need to update their algorithm.
Do you think that's what's causing the major like
Well,
struggle?
their algorithm needed to be tweaked with anyways because there's situations to where I find that there'll be you know let's say the person will be off Harrisburg Road, order Starbucks, and it'll go to the one in Hamburg.
Yeah, which is like 12 miles away.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, why don't you update it to where instead of because it used to be the algorithm
When
used
there's a Starbucks on Harrisburg Road.
yeah,
Couple of them.
there's like 3 of them.
Yeah.
But so the way it used to be, and I don't know if it still is that way because it's just like I said, things are out of whack with it. And they just let it run rampant now. Um, the way it used to be is it would go to the closest driver instead of going to the closest place to the person.
Yeah.
And you would think that would go to the closest place to the person to where they get their food on, early,
Quicker. Yeah.
quicker, and get their, they get it fresher, like
Yeah, because then you got people complaining, oh, I got my meal and it was cold, I want my money back.
yeah. So, but then you got the people that they doing it by time and they take their time or whatever because like it's like an instance with my mom she ordered from the peach the cobbler factory or whatever it is.
Peach Cobbler Factory.
Yeah, and it's what she ordered had ice cream. Well, the driver took all day to get there.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Like it was like, oh, I'm waiting on the order.
Oh, I gotta use the bathroom.
And then I gotta go pick up this order now, which that does happen. DoorDash does stack orders.
They do, but that's bullcrap.
But
if
then,
you know that somebody's got ice cream, deliver that order first.
Yeah, and then they was like, oh, well, I gotta go get gas, and then it was just by the time it got to her, her ice cream was soupy. So it was crazy. Like, so like,
and DoorDash do not give you anything for free.
No, and then and then if you do ask for a refund, you actually got to call and call them, and because they're automated, will lowball the hell out of your refund.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's just one of those things. It's.
So you think they should just go back to the old system, or they should upgrade the algorithm and kind of tweak the app?
They need to revamp the whole thing. Like update the algorithm to where it matches what they're trying to do with the tier system. Make it to where people can't take away their tips. Tip baiting drivers, which is tip baiting is when somebody will put in a high tip for somebody to take the order, and as soon as they take the order or after they deliver it, they'll take the tip away.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me.
Yeah,
pissed me off.
And then it's just like they let the app run amped, and that's the problem with having an autonomous system. And because they're like, oh well, the DoorDash app is so significant, sophisticated,
and it's not.
It's not.
It's a struggle. I feel like they should just go back to the drawing board. Yes, they have a great concept. That's not to take away from it. But I think that they should go back to the drawing board and completely revamp the entire app. And just come up with a better design, a better structure, a better functioning of the app. Get some people in there that's not automated. Get some people in there that we can actually talk to, and let's do it.
Yeah, and then they need to actually let these restaurants understand how the app works, because there is a lot more restaurants who trying to confirm the order before they even give you the order.
Yes, that too. I remember. That's why you got shunned away from Chick-fil-A. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so the Chick-fil-A situation, I'm still not sure what happened.
You know what I think happened.
Oh, I definitely know what happened. I definitely know the outcome, but I don't know what caused it. And there was one instance to where they started doing that confirm the order thing, and like the lady tried to like hold the order away from me and tried to say confirm the order before I give it to you type situation. And I'm like, and I tell them every time, well, I'll get it when I'll confirm the pickup once I have the order, because I haven't officially picked it up.
Right.
And so I tried to talk to him about it, and they got irated with me, and because she felt like she understood the app better than I did. And she don't even DoorDash. There's a lady there that does Uber Eats, but she don't DoorDash. And so she tried to bring her into the conversation, and she don't even know the app like I do. Like, so the way these restaurants think when they do that is they think that just because, so when you confirm the order, that puts it on the drivers, which everybody wants to put on the drivers. Everything's the driver's fault. Customers, DoorDash, restaurants, they all want to put everything on the drivers because it takes it out of their hands. They wash their hands of it. So the lady was like, well, as soon as you confirm the order, that takes it out of our hands and puts it in yours, because they was getting calls for people saying that they didn't get their order.
Bull crap.
And because they was like, well, drivers will take the food and then they'll cancel the order. let's put that to bed right there. Because, first of all, drivers cannot cancel orders. Drivers can unassign orders, and that goes to the next driver. The only people that can cancel an order is the customer and Dasher support.
Yep.
And Dasher support will call the restaurant before they even cancel the order.
Yep. You said it. I am convinced that lady.
So this was a month after I got into an argument with them about it, because even I had my wife on the phone, on my headset. Even she was like, "You're getting into an argument with the people at Chick-fil-A," and I was like, I'm just trying to help them understand, and I get frustrated when people don't listen to me when I'm trying to tell them, because they think they know everything. So yes, I got a little frustrated and I started arguing with them about it because they wasn't trying to hear me. So, and let's just say a month goes by. I was confirming orders, whatever. Just give me the food so I can confirm it, so I can go. I'm not gonna waste time with it no more. I'm not gonna put up a fight. I'm not gonna argue about it no more. So it was the week of my cousin's passing. I went in there. I wasn't really, I go to the same Chick-fil-A. I went to the same Chick-fil-A every day. Like, I have built relationship with people in that store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like you knew people in there. Like you had a relationship with these people.
Yeah, and except for that one manager, she always wanted to say something smart and thinking she was funny. No, it wasn't really that she hated me. She just thought that what she says was funny, and I was just like, give me my order so I can go.
So now you can't go to. Have you been able to get any more Chick-fil-A's?
No.
You haven't got any since that last altercation.
So what happened was,
since our first episode, you haven't got any Chick-fil-A's because that's when your cousin passed.
Yeah. So my cousin passed, and I kind of went in there. I was, wasn't really, I didn't talk to nobody because I just wasn't in the talkative mood, joking mood.
That was what really did it,
though. So I walked in. I had my hoodie up. I was I was just going through the motion. She was like, "Oh, well, you haven't, usually you're smiling. What's going on?" I told her, my cousin just passed. I'm just not in a good mood. And so she goes on a rant talking about how her niece, had something. So she was telling me how her niece survived something.
Right.
Something medically. And she was like, I'm just glad that she's with us. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just glad for you.
Right.
I'm kind of on the other end of that.
Your niece survived. My cousin did not.
Yeah.
So what is your relevance to anything?
And then she kind of looks at my stomach, because for those who don't know, I'm a little on the heavier side now. Not too much, but I got a Buddha belly. A dad bod, as some people would call it.
The belly.
She looked at me and she was like, "Well, that would make you think about your life choices or something like that." And I was kind of like,
jaw dropped.
Like, and I didn't even know what to say to that. Like, I was just like,
you wanted to cuss it out. Is what you wanted to do.
Yeah, but I wanted to keep things cordial because I just didn't want to lose that revenue, of being banned from a restaurant. After that week, because even my wife was like, I would have reported her. And I was like, I'm trying to be the bigger person. I'm just trying to get this through. I'm just trying to get done. Let me get my money, and go. After that week, I have not had a single Chick-fil-A order. So, was I wrong for arguing with him in the first place, or was she wrong for? And then, so I've gone in there before. I've gone in there since, and I've actually seen her recently.
How did that go?
And so, because I ordered something for myself, I walked in, she was standing there. She tried her best not to pay attention to me. And I was like, "Hey, how's it going?"
I'm gonna make sure you hear me.
And she's like, "Well," she's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "I'm wondering why I haven't had a Chick-fil-A order in almost 2 months." And well, that's out of my pay grade. The people that makes those decisions are in a meeting.
The people
And
that
just
make
basically
those
just like,
decisions are in a meeting.
yeah, like just like basically like
You talk to that decision maker. Let me know what's going on.
And like, cause I've talked to people that I've actually like built a relationship with in the, cause like, man, I haven't seen you in a while, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't had a Chick-fil-A order in almost 2 months. And one guy told me that they kind of like switch things around to where they're giving new drivers opportunities. I'm just like, well, that's just kind of a BS answer. You may not know the full story. You may not know really what's going on. It's okay. I'm not mad at you.
But maybe you can let me know what's going on, if this is accurate or if I'm tripping.
But
what's the tea?
So, and still, I don't know what's going on because I can't talk to nobody.
Yep.
All those black shirts that are in there, those colored shirts, don't know what's going on. So, like, it just like I don't know, like. So, and that's why I have dabbled into other things that's doing Amazon Flex. And,
come on, Flex. Flex be giving you what you need, though. I ain't even gonna hold it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of good because I kind of like doing Amazon Flex. You just go pick up packages and you just deliver them. You just kind of do your own thing. I really haven't been mad at it. Not even that, but I really, and I don't know what they switched with it, because they switched some things around with that too. Because it used to be, you get whatever you got. It's still like that, but at the same time, I've noticed that since I've been doing these 3.5 hour routes, I've been in Lexington and not all over God's green earth.
That's what's up.
So like the one I did yesterday, it was like the apartments kind of almost towards Nicholasville, leading into Sharon Drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been all neighborhoods. It's something I can knock out in about 2 hours. So
that's what's up. And I say, if they don't let you come in, then boom. Yeah. Period. Y'all don't want me here, then I'll go make my money elsewhere. But the only downside was like that was one of your biggest potential like money makers was that location.
Yeah.
So.
And I really haven't tested it out to see if I'm banned from all of them, because I kind of still stay in the Hamburg area, which I'm kind of scared to venture out, but I think I kind of need to. But I'm kind of just one of those. I'm just stuck in my area. I just know where, just kind of, I know everything about it. I kind of really don't want to go learn a new area. And
I get it.
Some of the people I deliver to on the consistent basis, I kind of like. So,
well, for those of you all out there listening today, that was this episode of the Mike Podcast. I'm your boy Javi, here with my boy D-Lo.
Yo.
And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Peace.